pause the music. We need to pause the music. This is serious. I don't know where the truffle chat is. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Truffle chat, where did you go? It got like moved. Why? Why did what? What is going on? It has oh God. Okay, I know exactly why it got moved. Okay, wait 1 second. I gotta undo something else. You'll just see it all flying around the screen. We just need to ungroup all this. There's some growing pains from me coming back from slobs. Certain things work like almost identically, and then very specific other things are not even are like almost opposites. So I need to oh no, where is it? Come here. I don't know how to get it back. No. What if I refresh it? Does that do anything? No. I don't know how to get it back on screen. Okay, we're just going to remove it and then re-add it. I can't see anything that anyone's saying. Hello, hello. How are all of you today? Hey, it's all here. Hello, hello, hello. All right. What's up, Farrowin? How you doing? Okay. So, first things first, second things second, as always. What are we doing today? I didn't know until today in the shower. No, I knew a little bit last night. But what we're going to do, we're playing Daggerheart tomorrow with I think I can confirm it at this point. Blue-haired DM, who I did an interview with a little while ago, if y'all remember, and Ryan Immel, DM, friend of the show, been on many things, and it's just gonna be them. Because originally, it was gonna be kind of the three of them with Mike, and then Mike dropped, and we were like, oh, should we get like another third person? And I was like, what could be interesting is theoretically, Daggerheart should be like less player count dependent, right? Like that is kind of like part of the shtick. That's kind of part of what I and a few others have recognized about it. Is that the action economy is not as much of a thing. What up, Ty, Deadly, Hans, AKL? Hello, hello, hello. Wait, why are you guys not on Truffle? No. Is Truffle fucking up? Is it my fault? It's probably my fault. Although it could be Truffle's fault. Sometimes it does this. Although I wouldn't think. Refresh. It's very weird, the trouble with truffles. Well, I can see your chats because I have a lovely... it has done weird things before. Yeah, sometimes it takes a sec. And that's one of the reasons I started adding a stream countdown. But it's very weird because I know that the Farrowin thing was for this stream, so I don't know. Anyways, I have a local chat on my side, which is one of the... I've been making a lot of back-end improvements. Oh, what's up?
Remember how we lost a remote?
I do remember. You found it? Nice.
A year ago?
Yeah. I've been making a lot of back-end improvements, and one of them is I got a local chat client that... aggregates both of the stream chats. It's just hard to display on stream. That's why I didn't originally use it. But now that, well, theoretically, if Truffle is to work, if Truffle works, then theoretically, I wouldn't need to display the local chat. But we can't see Twitch chat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Truffle's up to. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to move past it, and we'll just have separate chats today, unfortunately. Because I can see both ears, which is the most important part to me. And if Truffle continues to not work, then I will have to address it later. But let's see. So yeah, the Daggerheart thing, we're gonna do it with just 2 players. Just 2 players, and we're gonna see how it goes. I want to see if all that about the action economy and the action tracker. I want to see how accurate all of that is, and really see if this is something that you can run with any amount of players, or if there's really distinct things that come out of it. Oh yeah, Twitch chat is updating just fine. Weird. What up, Mustang? So yeah, I'm very curious. And then I think in the future, I'm going to try to run this quick start adventure, the Sablewood Messengers. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a mini series. Oh, now, okay, Trouble's fine now. Just took it a second, because AKL's on YouTube. I'm gonna try to run this Sablewood Messengers with all of the different player counts. Because I believe, if I remember correctly, and let's just see, because I have the compendium up right now, or the Nexus demiplane thing. I believe that Daggerheart's official recommendation is 2 to 6. Oh no, it says 3 to 6. So we're actually stretching the recommended limit already, instantaneously. But I'm going to try this with 2 players, and then I kind of want to do a little mini-series where I do Sablewood Messengers, just this intro adventure, with differing amounts of players. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and see how the 3 includes the GM. That makes sense, AKL. That makes sense. Ooh, you got to play Daggerheart? Ooh, very fun, AKL. That's very good to hear about the synergies. I was wondering, because that's one of the, I think that's one of the best parts about a team-based game like this, is getting those synergies together. So that's good to hear. We're doing the included adventure. Yes. So tomorrow will be the included adventure with 2 players. And then we'll plan out some stuff into the future for it. And then I'll be able to kind of give a more holistic perspective on how I think different player amounts really affect the game, especially since I'm going to be playing the included adventure, which theoretically should be kind of built out so that you play Daggerheart as it was designed to be played and as intended, right? So, I'm trying to take it as at base as I can, and we'll do a little bit of a player count experiment. It's not what I was originally intending, but that's kind of how it's working out. My players want to test out a one-shot playing as villains. I'm interested to see how that will work. That is interesting. That sounds, I don't want to say counter to the system, but the system is meant to be sort of heroic. So I'm interested to see how a villainous type session would go, especially given, kind of the hope and fear aspect. Although I guess that's a matter of perspective, ain't it? So yeah, that'll be interesting. You'll have to report back. Very capable villains, very capable. So today we're doing 2 things. Chat. First, we're gonna set up Roll20. Now I would love I would love to be a I keep wanting to say Vanguard. That's not its name. A Forge. No, not Forge. What's the local tabletop that everyone loves? Foundry? That doesn't sound right either. God, I can't remember it. It's like one of the main competitors to Roll20. But it's not Foundry, it's not Forge. Not above. I can't remember its name. Whatever. But it said I would love to be that kind of guy, that kind of boy. And maybe someday we'll do a stream. I play on Roll20 above TTT. No, not Owlbear Radio. God, I can't remember it. Anyways, but Roll20 is dead simple. It's just so easy to be like, hey, I set it all up. It hosts it. Here's the fucking link. And I feel like everyone has at least had some experience on Roll20 at this point. It's not my favorite for several reasons, but especially given the limited amount of time that we have to set things up, I want to do it in there. And so we're going to try to go through the adventure, predict some things that we might need, set up some objects to be able to like very quickly slot them in. And then kind of go from there a little bit. And then the second thing is I sent a message in the Discord, sort of alluding to it, but I got a new chat or a new chat bot. So for the stream, so let's see, there we go. So not Nightbot, not MooBot. I had never heard of this bot. Besides when I, did my own research into it. It's called just streamer.bot. And it also has kind of a corollary product called speaker.bot, which is very interesting. It's a text-to-speech solution, which is super cool. And the two connect together. And because streamer.bot is local, unlike MooBot or Nightbot or any of those, because it is locally on my machine, I can connect it to a lot of other things. I mean, I can just have it press hotkeys. So, like, based on the things that you guys put into chat, I can have it press a hotkey on my local device. Now, obviously, if I'm not careful, that is an intense level of control. But I'm the one setting it all up. So it will be very cool, I think. And I'm especially excited for this in terms of I've talked in the past about how I want to do like a chat plays, like you guys know, like Twitch plays Pokemon. Like there's like the very I feel like popular app called Crowd Control that essentially allows you to do this, but through like a third-party software. And I think that this could be a very interesting opportunity for us to potentially do more of like a Hunger Games style thing. I've also talked about like in my Critical Role Watch chat wanting to have well, you guys see my monitoring mix. Wanting to be able to do like for this like lower fourth, right? I have like the drawing there right now. I would love to be able to have you guys be able to swap out what's there, and through this streamer.bot, again, because it's local, I can actually control OBS from it. So I could have like a command that you guys put in, and I would have to have it on like cooldowns, and I would have to aggregate a total or like an average of the chat requests. But I could have it to where like every 5 minutes it takes the aggregate of what you guys put in and switches what the lower fourth is. So there's a lot that could be done with it. I'm very excited. So what I want to do this stream, we're going to do the Daggerheart stuff first, but then I want to go through and potentially look at what we already have, what I've, kind of just put in there already, and look into what we might potentially want in the future. Very capable villains. That looks so good, like the stream. The beta documents say you can stream, but do not release any books or code that implement the rules, so most VTT support won't be there. Yeah, and I'm not planning on doing anything crazy. Like I'm literally just planning on putting in like the like I downloaded the standees. And so it's like I want to like upload like the standee objects. I'm not planning on doing any sort of coding to actually like implement Daggerheart rules. So like I want to like upload the action tracker, maybe like set up an object to easily interact with it. But yes, I am not. I'm basically planning on acting as if we're kind of like at a table, so there will be no scripting. I think for now, the best solution is more of a pure VTT that lets you move objects and do rules as if you were at a physical table. Yeah, I actually kind of wish that I could do it in, I think currently the best solution would be, if you guys have ever played Tabletop Simulator on Steam, the only problem with Tabletop Simulator is that it costs money and not everyone has it. I think that Tabletop Simulator would actually be a really nice solution for Daggerheart right now, if like you and all your players have it. But Roll20, is free. It's so easy. So yeah. Ooh. I'm definitely seeing Daggerheart games advertised that use a VTT. Yeah. You just can't like script any of the rules out. So like I couldn't like make like a character sheet. It's definitely okay to just use a VTT straight up. My number is they don't want people to find 1.2 stuff when they release 1.3. Yeah, I think you're right. Especially since it's in beta, I think they want to avoid any confusion with yeah, exactly what you said. They don't want a bunch of beta rules to be floating out there and then for there to be frustration. How will you be visualizing the action tracker and countdown for the big final combat? That's going to be the question today. That's what we're going to be figuring out today. I have some ideas, but that is what I'm going to be looking at for this stream. Is let's figure all that out. Love TTS. Oh yeah, TTS is hefty on performance. Honestly, SpeakerBot had like my actual. Let me pull this up. 1 second. This is my primary, so I'm gonna pull up Task Manager, but like I don't really want to flash all my tasks really quick. There we go. But yeah, no, SpeakerBot is currently taking up 0% of my CPU and only like 88 megabytes. I'm sure if it had, a bunch of stuff in the queue, it would be taking up more. But it like just like idling in the background, it takes up like barely any CPU or memory. So the other thing that I have been considering is potentially hosting these on like a VM that like runs off of another server or a NAS. The only problem there would then be how to route that audio back, but there are obviously ways to do so. I'm curious to see the VTT setup. Yeah, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants on it. I'll be honest with you guys. I do not have a ton of like, I don't want to say I don't have a ton of confidence, but I don't have a ton of like, oh man, like this is exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to be kind of figuring it out as we go. So let's see. I am going to throw up Opera into its own source. That way I don't have to worry about, because I'm going to be getting into my file system. So I don't want to have to worry about that. There we go. Okie dokie. Boop. And boop. Tabletop Simulator would be amazing, especially if you can get the cards. Yeah, I think tabletop, and especially with how I don't want to essentially want to say focused, but with how much the rules seem to sort of assume that you're in person. Like I noted that on my original watch through that like it really seems like the rules are pretty heavily presuming that you are in person. Which I think that there are positives and negatives too. Just like anything else. But I think that Tabletop Simulator is going to be one of the best ways to represent that aspect of things. So let's see. We got this pulled up. You can pretty easily make cards on TTS. Oh! When you guys were saying TTS, you were meaning Tabletop Simulator. I thought you were meaning text-to-speech. That's why I was like, what do you mean? SpeakerBot is not that much of a performance hit. Yes, you're totally right. Tabletop Simulator is very hefty on performance. Absolutely correct. Yeah. And for a lot of players, it can be laggy. Like, tabletop is not the most optimized of softwares. But I do think that it models the at the table experience the best. You can pretty easily make cards, yeah. I was thinking of using multi-face tokens on Roll20 that display a number, so I'll be able to count up fear visually. I'm thinking a similar thing. So I'm thinking something like a multi-face token, both for fear, for hope, for stress, for the action tracker. Like, I think that having basically like statically placed tokens that the players can like manually count up, I think is going to be the best way to represent things. So having something on the screen, potentially probably the same thing with a clock. I might even just import a fucking BitD clock. We'll have to see. I'm cheating and just doing things in person. That is cheating, Daniel. What the heck? I'm surprised how much they aim towards in person since how much TTRPG spiked in popularity over COVID. It is interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on it, you know? But let's see. Okay, so first things first are the standees. Standees. So, standees nuts, am I right? Oh, God, that was, ugh. I'm sorry. I'll leave. So let's see. So let's just grab one of these and go boopity bappity boop. And then new. Whoa, why the fuck does it want to make the image so big? Whatever. And then we will scale the canvas, fit canvas to layers. Why does it think my layer is so big? To new layer. Delete. Warning. Oh no! Ad incoming. Take shelter, everybody. Okay, the TTS works. Let's go. And it's helpful. It's actually helpful. Ad starts on Twitch in 40 seconds. Incoming. So we will take a short break. And we will be right back. What's up? Wait, and let's turn the BG OST way down. Because I always forget that I need background music. I never remember because I'm so used to, watching a thing where I can't have background music. So sick. The warning went off. We have a, wait, where is it? Where's the utilities? We have an ad incoming that will warn us when there's 1 minute left before the ad, which I think will be very legitimately useful. So let's see. Let's fit the canvas to layers. There we go. That looks way better. And now I don't need it to be an actual standee, right? I don't need it to be an actual standee, so I should just go... We just want to kind of get one side of this. I should probably have done some sort of more... more delicate selection, but that's not my style. Alright, fit canvas to layers. No? Okay. Interesting. I wonder, is there a fit layer to content? I'm not... Let's see. Layer boundary size. Layer to image? No. I am not the, what you would call the most experienced, not Photoshopper, but, photo editor. But I do my best. Let's see. So let's just grab this and we'll put it onto its own layer, which will be the same size as it. So we'll get rid of that. Do a floating layer, 2 new layer. Get rid of that. And before we move on, we might as well flip it, right? Is there like a rotate? No. Yes. Aha. Strix Wolfmother. Ooh, this... Okay, the image layer... Okay. Can we move this up a little bit? Hey, perfect. Okay. So now we will fit the canvas to layer. Bink. And, oh, it did the thing. Beautiful. All right. And we'll export that bad boy as... There's nothing bad in here, right? Okay. I was like, I am showing this. Okay. Gonna take it off screen just in case. Let's see. So throw that into the Daggerheart folder. I don't have a Daggerheart folder yet. Let's see. We'll call it that. Let's add a new folder. Daggerheart. Shit. And export it. Oh, wait. No, cancel. So this is, what is this? Strix Wolfmother. Strix Wolfmother. Boop. Okay. So we got one of those. Then we got the Thistlefolk Ambusher. And actually, in retrospect, I don't need to copy out the entire thing. I just need to copy out one of them. And we only really need one of these, right? And we can just paint over like the 1, 2, 3, whatever. Right? We don't need more. So let's get rid of this layer, put in that layer. Rotate that bad boy right to there. Beautiful. Oh wait, and then get some white paint. And just get rid of that little guy. There we go. It's a little off-center, but that's fine. Let's export as, and let's call it a Thistlefolk Ambusher. Boop. Then we have the carriage. And this is one of the reasons that I really, I'm not a huge, like, you have to have a mini for everything. You have to, represent every detail of your world, right? I'm not that. I'm very abstract normally, but especially with this particular scene and these particular few scenes, I think one of the things that is going to make the combats interesting is specifically knowing where the enemies are and where the objectives are. And I think one of the things I'm going to have to look at is I'm going to have to remind myself of the ranges and think about how I want to allow those ranges to be kept in mind. One of the first things I was thinking about, and I'll show you guys this a little bit. One of the first things I was thinking about is for any given tokens. Let me just get like a random token in here. Heroes and villains. Hooray, it's a bard. So one of the things I was thinking about, let's make him a little bit bigger, is on roll 20, you can have auras. So like melee, very obvious, right? But you know, for like we could put in like a close range aura and like a far range aura. I'm not sure if this would look stupid though. That's the thing. I don't know if this will look dumb. I mean, to a certain degree, it's just like if someone wants to check, we can turn on the aura. You know? I mean, I'll see it no matter what. But we can choose whether or not to show it to the players. I don't know. It would become very chaotic. I know. That's one of the main things I'm kind of worried about with this. I also kind of wish, and this is something that, you know, is we'll have, maybe I'll have like a little reference chart, because we'll have these feet, you know, this little foot measurement tool, and maybe I'll just need to have like a reference chart on the side for what the ranges are. Any VTT that I think ultimately implements Daggerheart, I feel like will have a like scripting solution to this. But I think, or I could even, I don't know. I was thinking I could have some sort of physical object, you know, because they reference like, okay, you know, it's a card is, you know, a short distance. This is a long distance sort of thing. So I could just turn off grid snapping, I think. Isn't there a way to do that? Okay, turn on dark mode first of all. I'm fairly certain there's a way to turn off grid snapping. And I could just turn off the grid in general. And then I could have just like physical objects to represent everything. It's in canvas settings. Grid snapping. If I just turn off the grid, does it do that? Hey, okay. This is interesting. I feel like there's something here, you know? We're just gonna put these back to 0. Wait, what? Do I have to have nothing in there? Does it have to be null? Otherwise, it'll... Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Are you going to go gridless? I don't know yet. I'm gonna get all the icons in there first, but I think that knowing where everything is especially when it comes to enemies and objectives, I think is going to be relatively important. So like this carriage, I think that representing this carriage is going to be important. Because especially with the first combat that we have, the Thistle folks' objective is not the party, it's the carriage. So I think you kind of just need a representation of the carriage. Let's see, carriage. I wish you could change the opacity. Yeah. If you could change the opacity, you know what? I wonder. I don't think this is the case, but I wonder. Did I get rid? Oh no, it's right here. What am I? I'm going crazy. I wonder if tint color. Dang. Sometimes in like color menus they'll have opacity settings, but no. Yeah, because if I could have like a really light opacity to where they can basically, you know, just like see like the border, like just like see like the rims, that would be super useful. Yeah, damn. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it'll work. Damn. And I will say, if your party or if your players are really, really used to Roll20, I think you could use these bars for HP, stress, and hope. Like, I think you could very easily use bar 1, bar 2, bar 3 for HP, stress, and hope. And just, like, really easily count them up or down here. But at default, I'm going to opt to not, just because I honestly don't know my two players. I don't know their level of familiarity with Roll20, honestly. So yeah, reference chart, kind of like a map legend. Yeah, I'm thinking so. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, so let's go back to making the tokens. I got the carriage, right? Did I get the carriage? Gotta go and check. Wait, nope, wrong folder. Boop, and boop. Yes, okay, got the carriage. Okay, then the Thistlefolk Thief is a separate enemy. Let's grab him. And boop. Get rid of that layer. You know what I just realized? I'm rotating all of these individually when I could just rotate the other image that I'm taking them off of. I'm real smart and cool. And I'm real smart and cool. Let's see. Thistle Folk Thief. There we go. All right, let's for, you know, the few that we have left. Let's rotate this bad boy. Yeah, because they're standees, all of them, you know, do have some that are facing the right way. Dang it. Okay, that's fine. And let's grab some forest terrain. I am very interested in the aspect of, like, the players sort of building the map. I think that's really cool. I am not nervous necessarily, but I'm a little bit less confident in my players' both desire and like comfort with like introducing things to the story. Like, I think that I don't know how comfortable they'll be with that, but I do predict and you know, when I say my players, I'm thinking of my at-home players. I think that the people I'm playing with tomorrow will be more than willing to introduce stuff to the story. But in terms of my at-home players, I am nervous that they won't be super comfortable introducing stuff to the story, but I do think that they'll be very down with introducing stuff to the map. I think they're going to be very, very... I think they're going to find that very interesting. So I am excited for that aspect of things. I think that'll be cool. To just be able to have kind of like things off to the side for them of like, yeah, like this is like the terrain that we can use to construct our map, and like them like, you know, helping construct that. I think they're going to be into that. Let's see. Okay. So now we need the next PDF. And is this terrain? Is this PDF 1? Is this Standees 1? I think so. Import. Okay, yep, that's Standees 2. And let's just import Standees 3. Why not? Okay, so no more Standees 1, and we'll do Standees 2 first. Okay. And let's rotate first. Oh, wait, what? Oh, because I'm still selected. None. Okay. The active layer is not visible. Oh. That tracks. Let's just call it -90 just so that it's nice and standard. And then there's only like 3 types of trees, right? I mean, obviously they have more standees because, you know, you're probably, you know, you're not like probably printing out a whole shitload of these. But we only need 1. And you definitely don't need all of this. So like I was talking about how I think you kind of need the carriage and like the enemies. I don't think you need all of this forest terrain. This is stuff that you could absolutely just have like your players draw, like if they have like a whiteboard or something. But for this one, I think I'm going to try to go kind of like I said, like as standard as I can to the intentions of the system. So like, I think that this is what the system wants me to do, right? They want me to have a certain like number of terrain pieces that the players place out because, you know, that's what they talk about you doing. So I want to try to be as close to the intentions of the system as possible so that I can give the best total feedback, you know? Because once we're actually just playing it at our home tables, we can homebrew stuff, we can change stuff, you know, we can do whatever. But I think for the beta, especially, it's a little bit more useful to try and play as close to raw as possible, even if you don't like or don't care about certain aspects of it. Let's see. None. But they'll be playing original characters. They are playing original characters. I'm not making them pick from pre-gens. That is maybe the only area where I am going maybe away from intended a little bit. Although, you know, in the thing, they're like, you can use the pre-gens or create your own. Just make sure that you have. There's one of them that they tell you to make sure that you have. That's the only area where I am going away from it a little bit because I think that that restricts a certain type of playtesting of like, I want to see how original characters perform. So that is maybe the only area where I am going away from that aspect. That's a good point. That is a good point. Let's see. And then the final stand ease. Let's see. None. Shoop. Shoop-a-doop. Oh, actually, before I rotate, let's grab the action tracker. Probably one of the most important things. Let's grab you. Throw that. Delete that layer. Throw that in. You know, I probably should have looked up if there was a hotkey that might have made this go a lot faster, but or not a hotkey, a shortcut key. But you know, it's going pretty steady, so I'm not too worried about it. The consensus that I've seen is the required character is not actually necessary. You probably want someone in the party who can deal magical damage, though. Yeah, I've seen the thing that the only area that I've seen the required character even like kind of mentioned is in like a, oh, blah blah blah, like you would know about this thing. But yeah, it doesn't seem overly necessary, honestly. Okay. For the Wraiths, yeah. Are the Wraiths immune to physical? Are they like totally immune? Or are they just resistant? Delete layer. I need to get more comfortable, especially with like non-CR streams, with just like not talking for a little bit. I always feel like I like have to be talking all the time. And I think that's one of the things with my voice that, you know, makes it harder to stream consistently, is I feel like I always have to be talking. I need to get a little bit more used to, you know, just kind of being chill. Recognizing the MacGuffin, yeah, but that's easy to just have the Arcanist exposit that. Yeah, I agree. Just resistant, and you know, I might let the players know, like, yo, there's, you know, I might just say that there's an enemy resistant to magic damage. I might, you know, I'm not gonna specify which ones, and if they still choose to not have anyone that can do magic damage, then that's on them. Delete layer. What up, Vetnair? Thank you for popping in. Hope you have good class. Forest Wraith. Okay. And last thing is the Whitefire Arcanist. Export. Okay. Okay. So we've got all our shit. And let's import all of it into thing. We're gonna go Daggerheart, Sablewood Messengers. Last night just in case I flash anything. Just in case. There we go. Oh, I have to go one at a time? Dude, I forgot about that. That's so... That's... I forgot about that aspect of Roll20. Okay, drop a file. Great. Then we just chill out. I do have to go one at a time, right? Or can I go multiple? Oh, no, I can go multiple. Come on. All right. So let's put all of these into Daggerheart. No, into Dagger. Into Daggerheart. There we go. Whitefire. Oh, it's not really the order. There we go. Such a random ordering. Okay. Tracker and Ancient Skeleton. Okay. I did all my rolling on Demiplane BTW, and that was all pretty intuitive. The buttons were where I expected them to be and did what I guessed they'd do. I think that I think that will be what I recommend to my players. Because, like, especially with a new system, that's why I still, even though D&D Beyond is a bit. The music was a little loud. Even though D&D Beyond is a bit cringe for a couple of reasons, I absolutely still recommend that people build characters in it, because especially for new people, just being able to go to your character and just like click something and it automatically loads up the dice you need to roll. Like I think that is a level of niceness. Like if I want to roll the fucking dagger, it's just boop. Like yeah, I agree. Very intuitive. Tells you that it's with hope, reminds you that hope is a thing, allows you to add on your pluses very easily. Yeah. I think I agree with you. Okay. I think first things first, and as always, second thing is second. We're going to have this be, I don't remember what they call them. Narrative overview. Acts. They call them acts. So I think this will be acts 1 and 2. Where did I put it? Oh, there we go. So this is acts 1 and 2. And then it doesn't really seem like we really need much for act 3. So I'm going to duplicate that. Also going to duplicate this. And we're going to call this acts 3 and 4, but I'm not going to like worry too much about what's on there. And then act 5. Act 5 is another one where we actually like need something. Should I be watching this stream? What up, Blue? How you doing? I think it'd be fine for you to watch this stream. It's literally just, actually maybe not. You know, I thought through it for more than a second, and probably not. Because I was like, oh, I'm just like placing, you know, terrain and enemies, and then I was like, ooh, but then you would know what the enemies are. So probably not, Blue. Probably not. You do need to make your character though. Get in and make your get on and make your character. Let me know, Blue, by the way, if you wanna. I don't know if we'll have time to fit in a stream unless you want to do one like Wednesday morning. Well, Wednesday morning for me, I guess, before the actual playthrough. But we need to get together and make your character. Anyways, yeah, probably not this stream though. Let's see. Okay. So the first thing we kind of need to set up is just like the general scene. I shall bounce, no stress. Yeah, I need to do that. I'll try to find time to make the character. Sick. And I mean, if you don't have time, you can make a pre-gen. Like you can totally make a pre-gen. The only thing I would say is probably just like read over the character like explanation sheet. So like even if you choose one of the pre-gens, like kind of read over these things and maybe understand what they mean. But we can also we can hook up in the DMs and talk about it. What up, John? We're first things first, we're making a we're kind of talking through how to represent Daggerheart. And then after that, we're going to look at streamer.bot and talk through some potential upgrades to the stream. So let's see. Inspired hero. Okay. So first things first. Oh my god. It's a Strixwolf mom. Look at her. And then I think what I'm gonna do, literally, for the pup. Can I crop this at all? Group, set dimensions? Wait, if I take off some of the height. If I move this height down to like 170. Nope, that did not work. Okay. Oh man, is there no way to crop it? Come on. give me just a little bit of a crop. Come on. Okay, wait, you know what? Wait. We can do this. We have GIMP. Let's see. Let's grab the Strixwolf mom. We'll do that. And we'll go boop. And no more layer for you. Layer. What? No. Oh, it's because it's a different active layer. I see. Boop. And then we're going to do the very precise science of getting rid of that. Whoa, not a mother anymore. It is now just a Strixwolf. And you know what? We're going to go even crazier with it. Nope. We need to go smaller. There we go. And then we're going to go pup. Boop. Beautiful. It's an entirely different monster now. There we go. And the reason that I want the pups to have their own tokens, we can only see the roll 20? What? Why? Oh, I know why. That makes absolute sense. Dang it. Well, I had a very funny timing if I erased mother and wrote pup on this. And it was hilarious. And you should all be sad that you missed it. And so now we can get in here. So we have the Strixwolf mother. And then separately, we have... Oh, wait. I need to go to the upload screen. Upload. I'm about 9 minutes behind. But 7 to 9 player classes are spellcasters. Unless you have a tiny party, chances are very good you will naturally have a mage in there somewhere. To be fair, I do have a tiny party. But yes, they would probably have to actively dodge it. And especially if I give them warning, I'm not too bad. I'm not too worried about it. All right, Strixwolf. Okay. So get in the pup. Get in the pup. There we go. And then I just need the pups to be smaller than the mom, but also big enough that they're readable. So maybe we'll have the pups be the standard size. No, we don't want the pups to be the standard size. The pups should be tiny. You should have to zoom in. All right. So then we have, I believe it's 3 pups, if I remember right. All right, so we have the mother. We have the pups. Oh my gosh, what is going on? We're zooming to 100. There we go. And then off to the side, because part of this is going to be the players helping to construct the scene. I'm just going to put all of the... Oh, dang it. I keep grabbing the handle instead of the thing. We're just going to put all of the terrain options out. So the players can just grab and copy any of this. Oh, yeah. I also have it where I put in a reminder, you can see in the chat, about the highlights and such. Are you just going to have a plain blank map just with tokens? I think so. That is my current idea because, like... Based on, you know, the intro, it's like, oh, play on the table and, like, use, you know, random shit around to, like, construct the scene. So I think I'm going to have a blank map with tokens, but I'm also going to encourage the players to draw stuff. So allow them to fully construct the scene to their heart's desire, especially when it comes to something like the ambush. because they won't realize that they're constructing an ambush. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the interesting things, especially about Acts 1 and 2, is that they will construct this scene not understanding what they're doing. Which I think will be really fun. Same thing with the other thing. And this is and I could be wrong about this. You know, this will really depend on your table and your party. I think that both of my players tomorrow are going to be very comfortable with this sort of thing because they're both DMs. But I think that even for my at-home players, I think that they would be more comfortable with this sort of thing than constructing story elements. So I wanna try and hone in on certain things where I can. And then I'm also just in the bottom, I'm going to put these in for myself. So we have 3 ambushers, right? If I remember correctly. I should actually check that before I get too far into this. Quick Start Adventure, Sablewood, Merchant, Thicket Thieves. How many are there? I think there are 3. Yeah, ambushers, and these are all the same, right? There's no like difference between the ambushers. No, there's not. Okay, so 3 ambushers and 1 thief. Okay, cool. So we've got 3 ambushers, and I'll give them nameplates. And I'll fucking call them Ambusher 1. Nameplate, save. Ambusher 1. Ambusher 2. Ambusher 3. And I need to remind myself. I mean, okay, before I do anything else, I need to not forget to put these in the GM layer. Very important, first and foremost. And then the next thing that I need to check. Wait, how do I switch layers again? It's a new thing. There it is, GM. Second thing I need to check. That's right. So, visible to editors, visible to everyone. So I want to make sure that these are hidden. I want to make sure that all of these attributes are hidden. And this is where I'm going to represent like their HP and shit. So currently this guy's HP, I believe they're all 3s for the ambushers, right? Yeah. The ambushers have 3 HP and they have 0 stress. So we don't even need to represent that. And also, this is a clarification that I need to figure out on adversaries. If an adversary has no stress, like stress none, does that mean that anytime they take stress, they take an HP? Am I understanding that correctly? Because I've seen that some adversaries do have stress, but I don't exactly know what none means. And I tried to look for it for a little bit, but I didn't find a definitive answer. So if any of you guys know the definitive answer, I would be very interested to know. Let's see. But okay, token bar options, cool. Okay, awesome. Save. So he's got 3. This dude is also, I think he's gonna be hidden. 3. So I don't think they need any other. I mean, their minor threshold is 1, so they'd be taking damage regardless. You know, that's a good point. That is a good. Well, I'm thinking about if a player ability does stress. So like, there's an example one, and this wouldn't be super applicable to this wouldn't be overly applicable to I think like the ambushers, but in general, there's like this Enrapture spell, which I don't know if I can make it any fucking bigger. Oh, there we go. Enrapture, You can temporarily keep their attention on you, narrowing their field and drowning out any sound but your voice. You may also mark a stress on a success to deal 2 stress to the target. So if they take stress, like when a player's stress bar is full, they take HP instead. Does this deal 2 HP? You know what I'm saying? Or am I wrong about something? Because that doesn't seem right, you know. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing there. These adversaries are so squishy. I would be inclined to just not let them take stress damage. Yeah, I'm wondering about how I would represent that, because I don't want one of my characters to try and use Enrapture, and I'm just like, nah, it doesn't work. I think that would be kind of rough. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to maybe look into it. Because I feel like there has to be like a direct answer to this. Maybe translate it to slightly different consequences, like it confuses them or slows them down. Potentially. I legitimately feel like I definitely can, come up with something to do. Like, I can make a ruling, but I feel like there must be an answer to this. Like, this feels like a weird oversight if there's not like just like a straight up answer to this, We're gonna call this just thief. Let me take a stab at finding it in the rulebook. Okay. Yeah, I tried, but I couldn't, and maybe we'll look for it later. But okay. So we've got Thistle Folk Thief, Ambusher. Is this guy on the GM layer? Okay, good. And then we also need... So we need to get out of the GM layer. We need to be on the merchant cart. Honestly, I'm thinking about putting the merchant cart on the map layer. I actually think that makes more sense. I'm going to put the merchant... Although, yeah. I'm going to put the merchant cart on the map layer. And then I'll just like move it around to wherever like the PCs mark. And then the Strixwolf mother is around it. I want to make the merchant cart slightly bigger than the mother. I think that works. So then the mother's kind of on top of it. The pups are around the mom. Cool. And I think that they are the centerpiece of the scene. Are they around the center? Yeah, generally. Yeah, I think upper middle is good. And then we have the terrain over there that they can copy out if they would like. And let me... Can I edit all of the permissions at once? No. Okay. Can I give controlled by all players? There we go. I want all the players to be able to do the terrain. And then I think what will be fun is I will have it to where all players control the terrain. And then I'll be like, okay, 3, 2, 1, and I'll move them all down to the map layer. So we'll be like, okay, place them however you want, blah, blah, blah. And then I won't actually do a surprise countdown, but I'll be like, whenever you're done, we'll set them. We'll move them all to the map layer, and now that's the map. I think that could be kind of fun. Okay, but because it's controlled by all players, I think they can copy them, which is the big thing that I wanted to do, and wanted to have them able to move it around. And then the action tracker we can just bring out whenever it's needed. Ooh, it's very small. Okay, ooh, thank God. I was hoping that the words would still be legible. I've been wondering about the edge cases of stress and health as well. Hopefully we'll come to a conclusion. Yeah, I hope so too. So let me remind myself what the action tracker even involves. Whenever a PC makes an action roll, they place the character token on the action tracker. Right. For each token they spend, they can activate an adversary on the battlefield to take an action. Okay. So, there's not a huge reason that we actually need the action tracker. Like, straight up. There's not a massive reason that it's needed other than to remind us. So we could have, player 1 add, and then we could have player 2 add, and I'm pretty sure that players can modify these, right? I think at least. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. I mean, I know that a lot of, especially like D&D players will be used to this, like, indicating turn order. And we just have to make sure that we don't actually move these, but we could easily use these labels to count up and down, Like, this is a very easy count up and down scenario. Yeah, players can alter their turn initiative. Okay. I think I might just have it be turn order, honestly. Maybe I'll have the action tracker. I don't even know if I'll have the action tracker, honestly. Yeah, I don't even know if I need this. I mean, maybe I'll have it like on my GM notes or like something about this, but yeah, I think I just don't even need that. Thank you, Zenshi. I think this will work. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, do we need anything else for this scene? I think this scene is good. Oh, actually, we need the carriage. We need the carriage. I want to make the carriage about the same size as the merchant cart. That seems about right. And then we'll also make this controllable by all players so that they can place it. And then again, we'll, set that into the map. Okay. And then once they get their characters made, we'll have representations of them. The point is to have a number of the number of actions taken and then used by the GM visible. The turn counter looks like it would work. Yeah, I think you're right, AKL. Because it's just like, yeah, it's to have it visible at all times, make it very like clear to the players like what's going on. So I think turn order works, and it's a very similar thing of like, I think that there's supposed to be kind of like we've talked about with Matt in Critical Role. He likes to indicate that we're going into combat by taking out the map, right? Like taking out the map is his sort of indication that we're going into it. And I think that Daggerheart has that implication of, I'm taking out the action tracker. This is a bit more of an involved puzzle or obstacle or combat or whatever. But I think that the same thing can be accomplished by saying, okay, I'm taking out the turn order. Like, I think as long as you have a very clear representation of, we are starting to track this now, I think it'll be good. Have fun, folks. Have a D&D session in the Shadowfell. Ooh, good luck, Mustang. Good luck. It will also make it evident, like you mentioned on a previous stream, which players taking the most actions. The only thing with this, so when we were talking about that on the past stream, we were talking about doing a sort of you do lines and then you do crosses, which that is sort of like a building sort of additive system. But with this, with the turn tracker, if we're going up and down, so like if, they go up to 6 and then I use 2 of those, or I use 4 of those, then we're back down to 2, which is what the system recommends. Like the system wants you to do something more like this than the dashes. Like this is very much like kind of a homebrew solution. But I still think that this absolutely has its merits. But I think that in terms of just keeping it simple, I think the turn order I'm more into. Because the DM removes tokens, I don't think the default system works super well for noticing turn hogs. I mean, the DM, I think if you want to notice turn hogs as the DM, you should try to take an even number of tokens from every pile. I think that that's the best way. I think that there is still a way to do that, right? Like, if I, as the DM, am looking at this, and one player has 10, and one player has 3, and I want to take out 4, it would be it would not show the turn hogginess if I took all 4 of them out of this one, right? It wouldn't show that at all. But I accidentally got that back on. But if this person has 10 and this person has 3, and I want to take 4, and I go 8 and 1, then we still maintain that. And then after this, if I want to take like 3, it might actually be relatively like good and like maybe like a good table reminder of like, oh, I can only take 1 out of player 2's. Player 2 is out. Player 1 still has plenty left. Like, I think kind of narrating that as like a tiny bit of a subtweet of like, you know, oh, look at the differences. Like, that could actually be a good reminder to player 1. I was planning on having a second turn tracker behind the GM stream where I placed the ones I took. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Daniel, especially if you are physical. The only thing there is that you have to make sure that you have a lot of tokens. You have to make sure you have a lot of tokens to make sure that, you know, they don't like run out. But that also could be kind of interesting. I don't know. There's something there. Anyways, okay. I think that that's kind of good. I got a few hundred for aquarium fill at the craft store. Fuck yeah, dude. That works. That absolutely works. Okay, the only thing we really needs for Act 3 and 4 is like the Whitefire Arcanist. Like, maybe? And I'm gonna throw her on there. But that's like a big, like, probably don't even need it. I'm probably just going to have this as kind of like a blank canvas in case the players want to like take any notes, like in case I want to do like a quick like whiteboard type drawing of like, okay, there's the street, there's a house here, there's a house there. Like, this is probably what I'll use this one for. God, I really wish that Roll20 allowed you to keep going back and undo history, but what are you gonna do? Let's see. And then for Act 5, what all do we need for Act 5? We need the Whitefire Arcanist. The ritual begins. Okay, so we need the Whitefire Arcanist, we need 4 Ancient Skeletons, and we need 2 Forest Wraiths. And obviously they can summon additional Ancient Skeletons can be summoned, but we don't need them at base. So there's the Whitefire Arcanist, the Merchant Cart. I'm going to put the Forest Terrain back on. And actually, you know what I'm going to do, honestly. Oh, wait. No. Yeah, that's fine. I want to make the Whitefire Arcanist movable by all players, so all players, because she's an ally. And then all of this. Okay. So let's select all of that. Let's also select the... Oh, what? Oh, I didn't shift click. That's my bad. So I'm going to copy all of this over to Act 5 just to make sure that it's still controllable by all players. And then we're going to put the carriage and the Arcanist kind of center stage. And then we have...
Warning.
Oh.
Warning.
Warning. All right, we got 55 seconds until the ad. So I think that's probably just enough time to make 4 skeletons. And put them all into the GM layer. Boop. And then put 2, oh no, where'd they go? Do I not have the wraiths in here? I don't have the wraiths. Oh no, there it is, Forest Wraith. And then put 2 Forest Wraiths in, and we got 20 seconds. Shoop. And put those into the GM layer. And with that, I will head to the bathroom, get some water, go to the bathroom, and I will see you all in a moment. Oh, I don't have it on my Elgato. Of course I don't. What up? Okay. I saw the stress discussion, and I think you're probably right. It's certainly, I think it's certainly unclear. But something that I did see that I think it's very ambiguous. I think they need to add a clarification to the adversary section. I will also say, in terms of stress from damage, if you ever can't mark a stress slot because your slots are already full, you must instead mark 1 hit point. So I believe that would mean that if you were to say take 2 stress, then you would take 1 HP. So it's like if you were to take an arbitrary amount of stress in like a single go, you mark 1 HP. I think that's how I'm understanding this. Also something else, and I think that's how I'm going to run it for the adversaries. So if someone were to say use Enrapture on one of the oh my god, I zoomed in way too far. If someone were to say use Enrapture on, say, like the thief, the Thistlewood thief, I would allow them to mark a stress, deal 2 stress to the target, and that would do 1 HP. That is, I think, how I am planning on running it. Especially based on like your stuff. My reading is 2 HP, but it's certainly ambiguous enough that I can confidently call your interpretation. I can't confidently call your interpretation wrong. Yeah, it's very ambiguous. I think that's how I'm gonna run it. Based on my interpretation, I don't know. The other thing, I'm gonna play it raw. But I will say, if this doesn't change by release, I am probably immediately homebrewing this. This is actually something that we talked about in an earlier stream. Is this stress from moves section. You can't use an effect that costs stress if you don't have any stress available to mark. Why not, though? But why not, dude? Just let me take stress. If you ever can't mark a stress, you must instead mark an H. I mean, why not? I think this is fun, personally. We'll see. We'll see how it, plays out in actual play. I'm gonna follow this for now. But why not? Your way feels more fair and I like it, but raw doesn't read that way to me. Yeah. I think it's that I think the difference in how we're interpreting this is that when I read that sentence of like, if you ever can't mark stress slot because your slots are already full, the way that I interpret that is like when, like, say someone uses Enrapture on you, right? You mark a stress on the success to deal 2 stress. I think the way that you're interpreting that is that they would, when they mark 2 stress, if their stress slots are full, they would try to mark the first stress. And then this would proc, and they would mark a hit point. And then they would try to fill the second stress, and the rule would proc. My interpretation is that for just the single action, the single Enrapture, they would attempt to mark 2 stress. Then the rule would proc, and they would mark an HP. That's the way that I'm reading it. But I'm also not very confident in that. I think a clarification could be useful there. But I was allowed to take damage to obtain more stress to the tune of several HP, actually, because I was absorbing damage for someone else. Yeah. Does it say a stress, which would suggest 1? It says whenever you can't mark a stress slot. But it doesn't, it's, it's a classic Magic the Gathering thing. Is 2 damage the same as 2 instances of 1 damage, or are they different? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It is absolutely the same thing. Magic has an answer, Daggerheart is ambiguous. Yeah, they need to clarify if is 2 damage 1 times 2, or is it 2 times 1? They definitely need to clarify that. What is 2? Because at the end of the day, everything breaks down to a single thing. So when you scale it up to larger things, when you scale it up to 4, is it 4 times 1 or 1 times 4? Definitely in need of clarification. Non-existent stress meter. Yeah, exactly, AKL. I would intuitively agree with Mega. It's so ambiguous, though. I think I could confidently rule it either way, and I don't think that there's, like, a super clear answer. Let's go read the... just in case, I'm going to reread the adversaries, but there wasn't a lot of adversary rules, even. So I'm just going to see if there's maybe something in here. I don't think there's going to be... No. Since marking a stress slot is something that you physically do one at a time, it feels more like it would happen for each instance separately, but I like your ruling better. Yeah. It's, yeah. That is a good point, ARO, is with how physically oriented this is, you do mark each one individually as a human person. It's a good point. That is a good point towards the 1 times 2 argument. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, this person has a 3 stress. This person has 1 stress. I'm also wondering, is the nun stress something that exists outside of the intro adventure? I am wondering that. Because this person says 0 stress, which is different than none, but go off. Book hasn't been edited. Okay. Yeah, I don't... When this adversary takes minor damage, they may mark a stress instead of an HP. That's a cool ability. This is totally off the off the thing, but in the rulebook, when your GM move isn't immediately visible, happens off screen, it says you should say everything is okay for now. The book is evil. That's so sick. I love that. I love that. It's the you don't nothing is there as far as you know. On a perception check. Let's see. Yeah, none of that's there. I don't think core mechanics. Core mechanics. We were just looking at this. That's not gonna be anything there. Yeah, I think it's just ambiguous. I think for now, I'm going to say no matter how much stress they take, I think I'm going to do it is 2 times 1 in every instance. So for PCs and for enemies, it is if a move deals an arbitrary amount of stress, you take 1 HP. For both adversaries and PCs. I think regardless of how you rule it, you should rule it the same for both. Because there are tons of adversary moves that cause stress. So if their stress bar is full and if like a player's stress bar is full and you're doing 1 times 2, you should absolutely do the same thing. I tried the section for scaling adversaries up and down, but it didn't come up there. Yeah. About the balance. 2 HP against enemies without stress is hella powerful. Dealing 2 HP is too much for that level type of spell. Yeah. It does seem very strong. It does seem very strong. And I will say the whole like consistency thing, it might be that they come out and they say you count it differently for adversaries versus players. Like, they've already said, they've already drawn a line where the GM game is very different than the PC game with, like, the D20 versus the 2D12. So, I think it would be totally fair for them to say, oh, you count instances, total move instance for adversaries, but individual for players. Like, they could absolutely do that. I'm going to keep them the same for now. But yeah, for something like Enrapture does not feel like you may mark a stress to deal 2 HP. That feels crazy. Yeah, it really seems to fit damage better with how damage thresholds work with multiple points of damage equals 1 HP. Yeah. I would hate them being different. They're too similar to be different. I would always forget. I would agree. I would rather them be the same thing, but they have set a precedent for allowing them to be different. If they put out a beta that was like, hey, here's a clarification, they're different, I would probably say that I would just match whatever is happening for the players and just port that over to the monsters, and then you can rescale the monster difficulty. You know, if I was designing the game, I would decide whatever you want to happen to players and then rescale the monsters to match whatever that is. The D20 versus the D12 is different, though, because the GM doesn't care about hope and stress. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think you're right. You're right. It is a bit of a not necessarily like totally unapplicable, but they are very different things. Surely the same instance for players, if they have 5 to 6 stress and are forced to mark 2 HP, do they mark 1 stress and 1 HP? Ooh, I would say so, Zenshi. I would say so. If they're at 5 out of 6, they need to mark 2. I would say it's 1 stress and 1 HP. Because during that which is weird, but I would say that during that application, they marked as many as they could, and then they couldn't mark any more, regardless of what it was. So I would say, if they have 5 out of 6 and they need to mark 4 HP, I would say it's 1 stress and 1 HP as well. So it's sort of like all of the overflow gets rounded, is what I would say. So you mark as many as you can, and then if there's any overflow, it gets rounded to 1 HP. That is the way that I'm thinking about this right now. I would absolutely accept clarification that is counter to that. and I will be listing in my feedback that I think that needs clarification from the designers. Let's see. So honestly, I think we're kind of fucking done. Gonna move these all off to the side, but I think we're kind of fucking done. I will say, I think I want this. Oh wait, we need the range stuff. We need good range markers. So okay, it's not entirely incongruous. Any amount of damage caps at 3 HP. Yeah, true, Daniel. True, Daniel. Yeah, so it's like there's once you get past the severe threshold, everything rounds down to 3. That's a good point, Daniel. Yeah. I think I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger. I think that it makes sense that the Act 1 and 2 combat is a little bit smaller, especially like both from a storytelling perspective. They're in like a tight wooded area, and from a getting the players used to things. I think it makes sense for the intro for Acts 1 and 2 to be in a tighter play area, but I think I should make this one a little bit bigger. I'm gonna bump that to like 80 and that to like 60. That was totally arbitrary, by the way. No reason that I chose those numbers. Yeah. And then I want to check out, I don't know, I remember that the game tells you to summon the wraiths, I think at a far range. So we're gonna see really quick. If I just did this flat out, how far away would the measuring tool say? The measuring tool would say 200. Okay. How does that vibe with what the quick start tells us? How does that square? Another edge case. If you go off book and allow them to spend HP for abilities that want stress, what about abilities where you're supposed to spark more than 1 stress? That's a power boost. Oh, that is a power boost. That is interesting, Daniel. That might be why they say if you can't mark enough stress slots. is because even if there aren't any that tell you to mark more than one, they might want to future-proof the system. Because that does... interesting. What up, Rebecca? How you doing? Let's see. Okay, wait. It tells you place 4 ancient skeletons within close range and 2 forest rays within far range. And I need to remind myself what the actual ranges are. Okay, let's see. Or that will be in the playtest. Maps range. There we go. So there's far and very far. Does it say very far? Within far. So that's usually 300 to 100 is far, and very far is 300. Anything on a battle map that is beyond far distance but still within sight of the characters can usually be considered very far. Interesting. Anything beyond very far is considered out of range and usually cannot be targeted. So that is interesting that in general, no matter what measurements you're using, you probably shouldn't have a battle map that goes beyond very far, is what it seems like. Because if you can't target it, you probably shouldn't represent it. So I think it's actually kind of reasonable, especially given that the wraiths are, they might... I think it's probably reasonable to have this actually be... I'm gonna say 150. So how grid cell distance is 5. So 150 would be what, 30 by 30? So that would be 30 by 30. Would be very far. So now if I go out from the Arcanist. Oh wow, that's still a ways. Wait, did I edit the wrong one? Oh, I edited the wrong one. That makes way more sense. I was like, what? That feels big still. Whoa, that's way too small. Okay. What the fuck is happening? Okay, so I'm doing my math wrong somewhere. Let's call this 75, or we'll call it 85 because I want to get back my shit. And then I think this was 65. I might just leave this. This feels fine. This feels fine, and I don't want to fuck with it anymore. Something to note about ranges, they aren't completely consistent for a 5-foot 1-inch grid. Yeah. With a map this sparse, you could totally get away with auras. You could. That's true, Zenchi. That's true. It would also depend on how many players you have. If you have 5 players with all their overlapping auras, that could get very busy. But if you only have 2 players, it's much more reasonable to think that you could get away with it. Very close is 2 to 3, which would be 15 feet on a 1-inch grid, but they say 5 to 10 feet. Oh, interesting. There's some wiggle room, just be internally consistent, yeah. I'm your shield as allowing either multiple stress or multiple armor slots to be marked in order to take on multiple incoming attacks at the same... Multiple incoming attacks to the same target, but that might have been wrong. Felt badass at the time, though. Wait, let's see. Let me check out I Am Your Shield. That's a guardian, or it's not a guardian. It's a domain. So I want to say that's a valor domain. I bet you if I look at the levels, I'll find it really quick. I Am Your Shield. When an ally very close to you is going to take damage, you may mark a stress to stand in the way and take the damage instead. Reduce the damage. You may also reduce the damage by spending armor slots. I would say that regardless of how we're interpreting the damage, it's just saying when they're gonna take damage, you take it instead. Now... the question is, how many stress do you mark? Which does very much come down to this discussion of would multiple enemy attacks be multiple instances of damage? I would say so. Except, The only caveat to that, I would say, is that I would say multiple instances of like different enemies attacking, I would say is multiple different stresses that you would have to mark. Unless it's a group attack. I would say that if it's a group attack, it just says they deal X amount of damage per adversary. So I would say that's one instance of damage, and you would only have to spend one stress for I Am Your Shield. That is what I would say. I used Am I Your Shield multiple times in a row. I think you can absolutely do that. I don't see any reason you couldn't use it multiple times in a row. There are some very cool, powerful one at higher levels though. Yeah. Yeah, I think you did it raw, AKL. Yeah. This was a mob attack on the Arcanist, so I used that ability multiple times, taking lots of stress, and ended up at 2 HP. A mob attack. Was it a... So, it was the skeletons, then. Let's just check. So, the ancient skeletons have... You know, I would say... If I'm looking at this, the ancient skeleton group attack... It's one instance of damage. It just deals it times the amount of adversaries. The adversaries aren't technically attacking individually, so I would say you only needed to use one stress. You would still take the full damage, obviously, but I would say you only needed one stress to block that. It's limited by spending stress, no other limit. Yeah, 8 or 9 skeletons. I think that could, I mean, I totally think it's a fair interpretation. And again, I think there needs to be some clarification on like how these damages stack out, but specifically reading group attack, it is you activate all of them, you make one attack roll, and then on a success, deal this per adversary, you know? Hi. Which I would say is like a total damage value, which would then mean only one stress. I don't know, though. I don't know. It is definitely, wiggly. Since the damage gets added into one amount, I would agree that's one bit of damage. One pool versus separate matters for the thresholds. Yeah, absolutely it matters for the thresholds. Very much so. And the group attack on the Arcanist, like if they're actually using the group attack feature. This isn't if they're, like if your DM was using multiple turn tokens, like say that there's 8 skeletons and they use like 8 turn tokens to activate them all individually, those are individualized. Absolutely. But if they're using group attack and they're just like spending the fear to activate all the adversaries, I would say that that's one instance of damage, and if they were attacking one of you, it would just be one instance of damage in terms of the damage thresholds as well. Yeah. If I misremembered, but the upshot was that it felt like a high cost, but I absorbed essentially all the damage because it also stacked with my Unstoppable. To be fair, AKL, like I said, if they were attacking individually, then you would have absorbed all the damage, which is a legitimate like decision-making thing for a DM, is do I group attack and I'm much more efficient with my, and like I get like a big punch of damage for one fear, like I don't have to spend a bunch of turn tokens. And that might do, that might cross the severe threshold. It's, a little bit more likely to deal more damage. Or do I spread it out, but I have to use a bunch of turn tokens? I think that's a very, different outcome. Either way. Tank build is so clear in this system. I do think that, thankfully, there are some distinct answers to why you want to take tank stuff. In a way that is not very clear in other systems, yeah. I'm not 100% sure if it was group attack or multiple. GM had a ton of tokens at this point. If they had a ton of tokens, they absolutely might have, I mean, I will say, to that point, it's very easy to, not remember it. Like, I don't think this is something like you, like, absolutely should remember. But there is a benefit of, because the DM is supposed to have their fear visible, and because all of the turn tokens are visible, you should know if you're paying attention. If you're... Every way I'm saying this makes it sound like you should remember, and I don't think it's necessary that you should. But if you want to be keeping track of that sort of stuff, the information is there for you to determine if it is individualized attacks or if it's a group attack, which I think is cool. I think that's a cool aspect of this. At one point, we did a tag team with Sorcerer's Chaos Spell and my Whirlwind, which just laid fucking waste. Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. It sounds like it was really fun. I'm super duper excited. I think I'm gonna do. Ooh, and then the other thing I think. Speaking of fear, so I'm gonna have like player 1, player 2, and then fear, because I need to have the fear visible as well. Oh, and then I can easily get rid of them. Interesting. I think the skeleton might be designed assuming the chaos ability is in the party, and that's probably another reason the sorcerer is required. Yeah, possibly. Possibly. There was no visual representation on the screen, which was one drawback, but the GM updated us pretty frequently. Still hard to track for me just listening versus the visuals. Yeah, much harder to remember as well. That's fair. That is fair. Ugh. Okay. Fellas, I think we're done. I think I'm just gonna have them use the measure tool for any like range measurement shit. I think I'm just gonna do it. It's the Rain of Blades that the skeletons melt to. Chaos is better against single targets. Oh, was it? Yeah. Either way. Oh, this was the one that I made super small on accident. Okay, wait. It's like that 55 and that one 35. There we go. Now we have the White Fire Arcanist is back. And then for 1 and 2, I think this is sufficiently tight. Actually, maybe I want to make it even a little bit tighter. I mean, I guess this is a good thing to check if I'm going to, be using the measuring tool, is I need to check how big these icons are. The carriage is 20 feet. Maybe that's a little bit big for a carriage. Let's scale that down a skosh. Let's see. Measure. I don't have a good reference point. How long is a medieval carriage? 18 feet long. Okay, that feels right. Sure. So 18 feet. So this needs to be even fucking smaller. Because if I am going to use the measuring tool, I need these to be kind of like consistent lengths. Okay. So that's good now, I think. And then I'm gonna make the merchant cart about the same, which means I need to go down to the map layer. So I want it to look generally the same. That feels good. That feels good. Whoop, I'm way zoomed out. Holy shit. And then, the Strix Wolf Mother. How is the Strix Wolf Mother described? Let's just check it out, How is she described? Does it say how big she is? I mean, she kind of looks the same size as the fucking cart. Which, obviously, you could customize any and all of this. I just like to have, frames of reference. So that I'm not going too crazy with it. And then it feels like the Thistle Folk should probably be the same size as like the pups, I almost feel like. Or maybe somewhere between Strix Wolf Mother and pup sized. So I'm thinking like that. Maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think that's good. So then scale that. Scale that. This is, and I'll repeat this again, absolutely not necessary, but it's something that gives me like mental goodness out of it, you know? Do I want these rocks to be a little bit bigger? I kind of do. I kind of want the rocks to be a little bit bigger, and the trees. I think I kind of want all of the terrain to be a bit bigger. A little bit more of a thing when they place it, you know? A little bit more of a fella. There we go. Maybe have one of these be a small tree. You know what? Actually, I'll just tell the players that they can feel free to resize if they want the trees to be smaller or bigger. Put them at a default size, but then allow resizing. Okay, so the only thing I need to do really is copy this carriage over to Act 5 and make sure that we use that one instead. And then the Whitefire Arcanist needs to be so much smaller. The Whitefire Arcanist should be able to fit in the carriage at least. There we go. Let's see. One last measure. 5 feet across. Sounds perfect. Okay. Although she is fucking big, to be fair. The Whitefire Arcanist herself is actually pretty large. So I may scale her up a tad. A skosh. Let's see. If tag team ends up combining different types of damage, Fizz and Mage, and all the damage is supposed to be applied to all targets, which one is it? Ooh. I don't know. Where's the tag team rule? Is it in Flow of Combat? No. Is it in Running an Adventure? Core Guidance, Running a Session, Running Battles? No. Character Death, Running a One-Shot? No. Oh, Sharing the Spotlight, probably. No, not at all. Okay. Damn it. Where? Additional player tools, probably. No. No, it's not. Dang it. Where is this? Is it in Play an Adventure? I don't know if there's an official answer. The GM ruled we could choose freely, which seemed in the spirit of the cool combo ability. I agree. If I can't find it, I'm going to say choose freely. You could always remove the white background in GIMP. That is true. Oh, that sounds like so much more work. But I definitely could, and they would look nice. It would be so easy to. Maybe I'll do that off stream. It depends on how much I like my players. It's not even that much more work. I just have to go and do it. Something to note for the enemies. The Sablewood is known for having abnormally large animals and trees, and they all tend to live longer than normal. Yeah. Are you going to have the Strixwolf pup appear visually at the same time? Because narratively, there's a theatrical beat between them. I don't think I'm going to have them appear at the same time, but I do want the pups to appear. Even though the pups, I don't think have a fucking stat block. Right? I don't think the pups are out here as something you're actually gonna fight. So the Strixwolf mother has a stat block. 2 small pups. Oh, only 2. Yeah. So I don't want, but I do want them to be I want them to be visible. Because I think that is interesting. Because I think that it makes them more a part of the scene as like these living creatures, you know? Demiplane has a search in the rules. Oh, good point. Good point. Tag team. Tag team. Tag team roles. There it is. Where is this? Well, I guess we'll never know. Each player can choose one time per session to spend 3 hope and initiate a tag team move with another PC. When you do, work with your chosen partner to describe how your 2 characters combine their actions in a unique and exciting way. Both you and your partner make separate action rolls, but before resolving the roll's outcome, choose one of the rolls to apply for both of your results. If you tag team on an attack roll and it succeeds, you both roll damage as usual, then add it together to determine the damage dealt. Yeah, I would just let you choose. If there's a standout moment, oh wait, that's me. The real question is, what if they kill the mama on site and decide to adopt the pups? I mean, it's a good question. It is a good question, and that is something we will have to deal with. I think the only time it matters is for resistances, and I'd apply resistance before adding, but that's just my intuition. Oh, that's not a bad point, Daniel. Especially because, you know, you're probably applying that damage to a single source, or maybe you're not. The only trouble would be if the damage is getting applied to multiple sources that have differing resistances. Yeah. Because I think that's a very reasonable way to do it, is if they have consistent resistances, you just apply the resistance before, add the damage together, and then deal the damage. But if the attack that you're doing, something like Whirlwind of Blades, is attacking multiple things that have different resistances, that could be a little bit tricky. I think... Hey, bird. Stop it. I'm going to go get her a toy so that she stops chewing on the rug. Hi. Hi, cute hug. I have returned. The critical success kind of implies you get the Strixwolf as a buddy, but then doesn't mention that possibility ever again. I agree. That is why I let me pull up. Okay. I just have Opera up now, but I just want to make sure I don't flash anything that I don't want to. But that is one thing. I do think that, like, you certainly can run this totally, like, flat, I think. Like, I don't think you necessarily need to do a shitload of prep for it. But I think that... Oh, get rid of that. I think that if you... I think that a little bit of prep could go a long way towards making some of that feel a little bit better. Because when I did the prep for it, you know, I definitely considered that critical success. And I didn't want them to be like, it's a pet that follows you for the rest of the session. But I did say, I specified it'll hang out when the ambush is about to start. It notices something and lowers the instinct roll. Because I wanted there to be a very distinct benefit. But I do agree that some of I found the adventure slightly lacking on some very minute aspects. Like that, where it's like, okay, it tells you that a critical success is supposed to be this fucking big deal, but then the actual critical success that it shows you is like I think that all of the stuff with the Strix Wolf Mother is slightly underbaked, personally, especially for calling it like Act 1. I think this is probably, I would say maybe the more, I think Act 1 and maybe 4 are a skosh underbaked. And I fluffed them out a little bit. Or actually, I didn't actually fluff out 4 all that much, but I fluffed out 3. And I'm going to kind of run 3 and 4 together. So I think there's a little bit of room for expansion, pretty minorly as well. Like, I don't think you need to do something crazy. Like, this is my entire prep. It is, for 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is literally just follow book. And then this is just like consider targeting priority. I have some non-NPC options. Like, I don't think you need to do anything super wild, but a little bit of forward thought, I think, could really help the adventure. And, to that end, a little bit of more fleshing out on the adventure's end could have helped a little bit. I read it as the Strix Wolf being a possible ally for the ambush. Yeah. Starts to feel like 5e amounts of detail then, which goes against the narrative a bit. It does. I don't disagree. But I especially think for an intro adventure, I would have liked maybe some suggestions of like, what does this actually do? And you could be like, like in the critical success, segment, it could absolutely be they clear stress, then describe the Strix Wolf moving towards the PC, head down, tail wagging, it sniffs their head and sits in front of them. Maybe give some possibilities, like possible things. Like they even like have some scenarios here for like some potential things that the PC might do. Give some potential suggestions for some mechanical benefit out of that critical success. I definitely agree with the idea that, they don't want to put too much mechanical benefit in there because that does go against it a little bit. But I think some suggestions on, because this feels like they should get something from it when you describe this, and I think that giving them some suggestions on what that might be would be useful. Might alert the party. Yeah, we did talk about that. Did you roll a d20 for the Strix Wolf? Yeah. I like the alerting bit. Gives them a benefit without having to get into real tricky rule areas. Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the things that I didn't want to get too complicated with what befriending it even means. Like, what does having an adversary on your side mean? I'm sure that at some point I'll need to fucking deal with that. But right now I wanted to keep it simple, stupid. I need to look closer at the ranger stuff to see how easy that is to take a version of. Probably. Yeah, I agree. I think there's some room there, though. I was 10 minutes behind, but skip forward to live. Can you expand the measure tool for different options in terms of distances? Yes, you can. So with the measure, so you can have there be a fade delay. You can broadcast to others. You can snap to center, or you can just say no snapping. So I have this. And then in terms of the actual distance, Bird wants to go out. We're pretty close to a transitionary period. Do I just want to run ads early? Later. I'll take you out at the next ad break. Later. So this measuring tool measures based on these page settings. So even if you turn the grid off, what the measure displays is still based on the underlying grid. So you define a grid cell distance, and then you define the number of cells on the page. So that is what determines the measuring distances on Roll20, at least. I guess the Strixwolf encounter is intended as, let's see how rolling for stuff even works. Oh yeah, I don't disagree. But I think even from the perspective of like trying to teach someone the system, I think that giving some suggestions, even especially for like newer DMs, is maybe a nicer way to go, or not nicer, but a way to go about it. I forgive Act 1 a lot because it's so specifically designed to teach brand new players the mechanics. It isn't a standalone module at all. I think I'm looking for how to teach a new GM the mechanics as well and give them some guidance. Because, like, you know, I can maybe come up with some things. I do think it does a decent job at teaching the players. But a skosh more guidance for the GM, I think, would not be amiss, you know. If this was a standalone book, I'd be blasting Act 1 several new orifices. I do think the QSA could have pointed GMs towards the Sablewood section in the rulebook. Yeah, there's a pointer towards it at some point. Is it in the narrative overview? They do the Thistle folk stuff right here. There is a point where it points you towards the Sablewood. Maybe it's in the intro. Bird. Hi. You have so many toys. She has so many toys, and yet she just wants to destroy things. She just has hate in her heart. She... Hi. Hi, cute girl. She just wants to destroy and eat and make holes. And she has so many toys that she is fully allowed to do that with, but she doesn't want to do it with those. I stumbled upon that section and suddenly had so many ideas on where the adventure might go if they did want to keep going. I fucking love. So I don't remember how I got there, honestly. Maybe it's in the Game Adventure Master Adventure Guide. The Sablewood. Ah, there we go, the Sablewood. I really, really like that they give default locations. I'm a big default setting, default location fan. I really think that 5e making it the multiverse and not the Forgotten Realms like we all know it is, and not including a bunch of Forgotten Realms shit in the PHB is a big miss. Big, giant miss. I think default settings are very, very nice. I think they give a lot of benefits towards the consistent running of a system, understanding why certain things are certain ways, like why does this cost this amount of gold? Like, she really wants to go out. Okay, we might just start the break early. I don't want to set the ads to a different schedule, but she really has to go out. The new GM, yeah, well, God, she's being very insistent. 1 second. I will be back. Burb.
Hell.
Fuck yeah, I love that song. Okay. I thought someone rang the bell again. We have a little bit of time before the ad. But the new GM viewpoint is an interesting one. In some areas, it's surprisingly fleshed out, giving entire monologues about rules. Then in other parts, it just leaves you in the deep end. That's kind of where I'm at, Daniel. It's like, it's really hand-holdy on some aspects, but then just totally not on others. I'm thinking when I run this, I'll use the numbered circles for tracking, so it's visible to everyone, unlike the ones above the token. You can I think marry those together, can't you? I think are they the same thing? I think they might be the same thing. Yeah. So the circles are also the bars. They're the same thing. Whether or not they can see them is in this menu. But the bars are the circles are the bars. And it's just, whoever, they can see them by default, I think, if they control it. So if you make it controlled by all players, then they can all see them. But I think you can have it be controlled by just one person, and then if you set it to text overlay visible to everyone, I think then everyone can see it. But I haven't honestly played around with that side menu too much. I do like the adventure as a brand new GM, but of course I am doing a lot of prep work on the side, and I'm sure it'll be easier to see what it is lacking after I run it a couple times. Yeah. Is the multiverse just them being too scared to piss off old fans? Did you really like the default saying from Tui? That's officially a plane of existence. I know. It's stupid. It is like, I don't normally like to call pandering. Like, I think a lot of times when people call... Oh, no. Shit. I think a lot of times when people call pandering or they call, like, fan service, I think they're doing it disingenuously most of the time. But this is an aspect where I'm like, I don't see a super great reason to not have a default system other than that. I don't know. It's been ages since I used Roll20. Yeah, it can be arbitrary. It's very cool. It's very neat. Right now I'm thinking I will run the very first game, just Totem on Discord and Demiplane, but I'd like to figure out VTT setup going forward. And the ad starts in 5 seconds. I'm out of here. I'll be back in a sec. Ba-dum, ba-dum. We got 30 seconds left. Theater of the Mind is Totem. That makes sense. Yeah. I do. Wait. While we're still in ad, is it Foundry? Is it Foundry VTT? Dude, it is. I really want to go to Foundry at some point. Why am I not in dark mode? 1 second. Oh, it's because it's a new profile. That makes sense. More settings. No? Where the fuck is the dark mode setting? There it is. Dark theme on. Boop. All right. It is Foundry. I really want to go to Foundry at some point. But I just haven't. I haven't put in the effort to do so yet. Is there a downside to the multiverse concept, though? I mean, there's not an explicit downside. The downside is opportunity cost, I would say. The downside, if you have it, like the multiverse is basically saying no default setting, right? And a default setting comes with a lot of upside, and I personally don't think really much downside. And I think that, to me, the BS part of it is that there clearly is a default setting. I don't just mean, like, implicitly. I don't just mean, like, oh, everyone, like, thinks it's the Forgotten Realms and whatever. There are economic gold costs that are laid out. Like, a sword does not cost as much as it costs in the PHB in Eberron. Right, that's just, the economies just don't, that's not a thing. And so, the reason that I say it is because they are losing out on all of the benefits of having a default setting, while still there definitely being a default setting in the background, you know? But you not getting to actually, like, you know, correlate that with anything. And it not being, like, very clear. So, like, yeah, if you want to go, like, totally settingless, there's, you know, that's fine. I don't see a huge amount of upside to that. My big thing is that, like, if there is a default setting and you want to ignore it, you just ignore it, and then there's none. But if you do have a default setting and you want to use it, then it's all there. It's a big help. It's a big resource for GMs. Like, to me, the difference between not having a default setting and having one is laziness. I'm normally not this, like, mean, I would say, but, like, I truly don't see a reason to not have a default. I don't know. But so I think the default, the downside of the multiverse is just that you don't get the upsides of a default. The downside of multiverse is that anything supplemental is encouraged to be very generic, so that it can be used anywhere. Also that. But it's even that. I would mostly say that's, like, a pretty small downside. I would mostly say that you just don't get any of the upsides. So it's just like an opportunity cost type deal. Going for a jack of all trades, master of none. I think the thing is that it's a jack of no trades. That's my thing with the no default setting, is that there's no trades. If you want to, like, if you wanted to be like, here is, like, a one paragraph or like a couple line thing for, like, this setting, and you have, like, 20 different settings, to me that's more of a jack of all trades aspect, you know. But they don't even have, they have a jack of no trades versus a master of one. I have no sense of how popular homebrew worlds are compared to running standardized settings, insofar as it's even possible to draw a clear line. Oh yeah, I'm not even. I think that a default setting is useful even if you don't use it, because it allows you to draw conclusions about the other things that you maybe don't want to put in the settings. Like, it allows you to draw conclusions about the equipment table if you know that that economy and those equipments exist within the Forgotten Realms, and you know the context of like what type of setting the Forgotten Realms is. You know how to tweak those equipment tables and those gold costs if you want to tweak the setting or if you want to do your own setting. And I think this is one of the reasons that D&D economies get so easily borked is because people will use those gold costs in settings that they were clearly not intended for because of the settingless aspect of D&D. Can fit into any world customer one of ours is a fine philosophy. Sure. It is, but I think that there are indications that that's not the case. I'm very strongly drawn to the idea of making a homebrew setting. Oh, I've never run in a standard setting until Blades in the Dark. Blades in the Dark was my first time running in a someone else made it setting where I ran in Duskwall. I've only ever used homebrew other than that. I tend to hard cut off my homebrew worlds from the D&D multiverse. I don't like how spells Dream of the Blue Veil implies that you can hop over from any setting to setting, which is yeah. Foundry is my VTT of choice. I really want to move into Foundry. I just haven't. Got off work earlier than usual. What are we discussing? Daggerheart and like D&D shit. I think we're basically done with Daggerheart. I think I'm feeling good about where we are. We don't need to, put in a crazy amount to it. I think I'm feeling good about it. So I think I'm gonna close out at Daggerheart, at least for a second. We'll wrap up this chat, and then we'll go to the bot, to the streamer.bot. I have no idea how long we're gonna be doing that. We might take a look at it, and you guys might be like, I can't think of anything, and we might just do nothing. But I think we'll at least take a look at it. Yeah, big long tangents also. The same flaw with settings can be seen in D&D 5.5. They're too scared to alienate 5e by doing anything innovative. Same thing with the setting. They want all their old settings equally. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can still have, if, let's say that they came out and they're like, Forgotten Realms is the default setting. That doesn't invalidate the Eberron book. That doesn't invalidate, Mythic Odyssey of Theros. They're still equally as good setting books, regardless of if the default setting is there or not. And so all you're doing by not having a default setting is giving GMs less to work with. It's good for a default setting to exist so that people can use it to whatever extent people choose to. That is a way to summarize my opinion. Yeah. It's just like the thing should just exist, like Duskwall. Like, I use Duskwall to varying degrees. I've pretty hard diverted already. I've added factions. I've added locations. Like, I have I've gone up left. But if I'm there and I need to improv something during the middle of a session, I need to improv a faction or I need to improv a location, I have something to pull from that I'm sort of basing off of. So I think that's nice. And I think that that's the nice thing about Daggerhearts is you have these kind of, they don't even have like a world setting. They just have like regional settings, which I also think is just as good to give the GM something to grab onto if they want it. Also, many of these old loved settings were nothing until they were a default setting. By not making one for 5e, they aren't making any new beloved settings. Yeah, exactly. I'm imagining more like a comics multiverse, but those don't need to balance new monsters or items for each Earth number. Yeah, precisely, yeah. I just noticed Bit D is the only book with the cover visible. I'm assuming it's been there the whole time and I just didn't notice. Yeah. Let's see. What do I got back there? Yeah, I mean, it's just it's the first one in the row. And then behind that is actually Strixhaven, which is a book that I don't really like. Like, I like it fine, but it's fine. But it has really beautiful cover art. So it stays towards the front. And then it's like all of my D&D books, which is like Acquisitions Incorporated, PHP, DMG, Monster Manual, Tasha's, and Xanathar's. Those are the only physical D&D, only physical D&D books I have. And then behind that, it's like the 3 comic books I have. I don't have very many. And then that is a Pokemon art book. This is a Pokemon art book. So it's the art, or no, sorry, it's not even an art book. That one's the art book. This is the official Pokemon Coliseum strategy guide. My mom was throwing shit away, which is good. She needed to. And she found this, and I was like, that is such a sick piece of memorabilia. Like, I fucking love it. And it has, like, a cool cover with, like, all of the Pokemon in the game. I was like, oh, I absolutely got to keep that. And it's so slim. It fits so easily on the shelf. Yeah, I probably got that from GameStop when I was, like, 12. Eberron is a great example. It came from a contest to make a setting for 3.5. Yeah, it's so cool. It's, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah. Eberron is dope. Eberron's really dope. I would love to play in Eberron as well. But I haven't. That is a bomb cover. Yeah. I want to use some items from Acquisitions Inc. Sometimes they're wacky. I would love to play an Acquisitions Inc. game sometime. I think it'd be so much fun. But I've never, like I said, I've never like run in any of those sort of settings. But like all of the classes are so silly. I really want to play an Ac Inc. sometime. I haven't run a game where that sort of wacky would fit in a while. Yeah, I want to do like a limited series in Acquisitions Incorporated or something. But it is very wacky. Okay, let's see. Okay. Now, the only issue with this... Ooh, I can't really make it bigger. Uh-oh. Okay. But, wait, we can do something. We can do something. I can work with this. This is streamer.bot. Boop. And yes, and yes, and yes. And now, it is just its own little window, and I can do this. Ha-ha. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm pretty sure I checked it for anything that I wouldn't want to show up on cam already. I actually know nothing about the things in the book except for some of the items. Maybe I should get the book to make a game where the items would fit. Dude, there's like there are like whole custom classes. There's like a custom like there's like a like faction building system where like you level up your company. It's so fucking cool. Acquisitions Incorporated is a fun-ass book. But it is very much like a lot of it, I don't want to say it only fits within itself, but it is very much like it chose to be a thing, and it did that thing really well. I really like Acquisitions Incorporated, but haven't run it. So, anyways. So we have some options, and I have a work in progress action where we can kind of look through some things, but basically I have a couple of things I can do. So actions are like the main bread and butter of the stream bot. And actually I might be able to fit this a little bit better on the screen. Ooh, wait. Oh yeah. Oh, perfect. And then if I do this equally... Oh, well, okay, that kind of worked. Okay, wait. No, I don't know about that. Okay, there we go. I think that is perfect. Okay. So any given action within streamer.bot is here. And actions basically have what they do and what triggers them. So the trigger causes the action to run, and when the action runs, it does all of these sub actions. So the sub actions are what like actually do stuff. And then the actions themselves are just like kind of the pass-through container. And the triggers, I think the most generalized thing that you guys might think of are like commands. So like Nightbot commands, Moobot commands, the, exclamation point type stuff. And I have all of those here. Those are the commands. So one of them that I made is all commands, and you guys should all be able to run these currently. You should be able to run all of this. It put it in YouTube and Discord. And Twitch. That's fine. I like that. But yeah, so these are all of the commands currently that you guys can do. And I'm actually interested. All commands, are you live? Okay. Some of them are mod commands. Well, I say some of them. Exclamation point English is the only one that's a mod command. But if you tried to run a mod command, I'm pretty sure it just wouldn't work. Actually, something we might want to test. Can someone besides a Mustang try running exclamation point English? Because that is specifically supposed to be a mod command. And I think I set it up that way, but okay. Yeah, sick. It doesn't look like it's going to pick it up. Awesome. That is exactly how it should be. So we can get all of these sorts of things, these commands, but these commands don't just have to trigger like a chat response, right? The commands can trigger an arbitrary action that takes any of these sub actions. So there are so many sub actions that we can do. I can fucking execute C# code in a sub action. And one of the really cool things that I think is going to go towards potentially helping the crit roll stuff is I have it where it makes a highlight time code. So this is writing to a file. So this literally writes the time code into a text file on my computer. So I'm very excited about that. But then I also, I can put them on timers. I can make global variables to count things, and then I can display the count. So I don't know if we're obviously the bit decounter is a bit of a meme, a bit of a joke. But if we seriously wanted some sort of counter, I could do hashtag or not hashtag exclamation point like bitd count up or like or exclamation point bitd, and then I could have a separate one that views that count and I could reset it. So with all of that being said, I also talked about like potentially like I could change some like OBS, like I can change like OBS stuff. So like the the text appearing like over me when we're about to go into an ad, that's just like I just have it like as an OBS source. And I just have it become visible versus invisible. Invisible. That's what they call that. In here. I don't know how rusty your programming is, but it seems like endlessly customizable. I know. My programming is it's pretty rusty, but I want to get back into it, especially because of the arbitrary C# payloads that you can just fucking execute. And I can even take like fucking mod actions based on it. So like if I go into like Twitch and chat, like I can I can change the fucking channel game and the channel title. If I want, I can get the latest subscriber count, so I could program my own, like, you know, we were talking about like the follower bars, like I could program my own version of that. I could clear out tags, set tags, all of that shit. So one of the things I was thinking about is putting this into like I kind of talked about like Twitch plays Pokemon. Like that would be super easy to do. Like all I have to do is have a sub action that just triggers a hotkey. Like that's kind of it. I don't remember. Is it system? Yeah, there we go. Keyboard press. I can also just run an entire program, a whole ass program. But I'm thinking about this in terms of something like Foundry. I could program in, you know, what happens in Foundry if these, you know, if this keyboard shortcut is pressed, and then I could aggregate your chat responses and then have you guys like literally move things within Foundry. Someone just... Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ah. Ah. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. I'm gonna be right back. I was trying to look at what the dogs are doing, and I pushed my mic arm, and it knocked over my drink. So I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go clean that up, and I will see you all in a second. Okay, we're back. Oh boy, that was. Whew. What the fuck is, oh, I know what that is. Yeah, the thing that I immediately got down on the floor of was I had no idea how far back my computer's case went, and if it was like gonna drip onto the case, so I just dove down to try and move the case out. Luckily, it was far enough away. But oh my god. Oh, you guys can't see when I right click. Huh. Okay. Well, I can. Okay. So that's unfortunate. Okay. Well, it's this screen. But you know what we can do? We can make this work. There we go. Just fucking extend my monitor a lot. So now you can kind of see it. And this is what I was referring to. So there's a lot of options. Yeah, I spilled a drink. Yeah. So yeah, you can see these are all of the sub actions that we can take. And I can do a lot of different OBS things. I can do YouTube stuff. I can do Stream Deck stuff, Discord. And I can just do a webhook into Discord, which can execute a lot of different bot commands. So yeah, lots of cool shit we can do. Lots of cool shit. I can do IFTTT. But yeah, so lots of cool shit. So with that said, integration had some odd choices. Pronouns throwing system. Okay. Where is it? Yeah. It's the pronouns is it's a very I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's apparently a very popular or not very, I don't know how popular it is, but it's a throwing system is the same thing. Pronouns and throwing system are both Twitch integrations, I guess. I'm not a huge Twitch guy, so I don't know. But apparently they are like two like very common Twitch integrations. I mean, I can assume what the pronouns does. But I don't know what the fuck the throwing system is. But yeah, so that is, oh, I can also see what viewers are here. Hello, AKL and Daniel. I saw boycott tricks that explains why I've never heard of them. Yeah, I have no idea. And then I can have all of these different triggers. So, you know, I have like hotkey press. I have all of this shit, that I can have as triggers. And then the most like core one are the commands. Are you not aware of the popular pronoun throwing contest? I was a regional champion. Exactly, dude. Exactly. So with all of this in mind, you know, talking about like the bit decounters and such, I can distinctly modify like variables within here, either within a file IO or just within the system itself. I can modify global variables that either persist or don't, even on a per user basis. So one of the things I was thinking about, and I couldn't make this work, I already tried, was for Kukuro. I could take, if someone did like exclamation point Kukuro and then, you know, whatever they actually wanted to send into Kukuro, I can harvest that entire message from YouTube to potentially route it into Twitch. But the problem is when I send a message into Twitch, I can't impersonate a user. I can't like change me to be one. So counter for times you've changed the schedule. All right. That is a fucking subtweet, dude. Look, it's almost ready, I think. It's almost there. Probably. I think. But yeah, so there's a lot of options here. And to you two in chat or to anyone in the VOD, be thinking about this. Be thinking about some things that you'd potentially like to see done in terms of chat interaction, chatability. I have some ideas already, and some of them I am specifically not leaking. But if you guys have any ideas, I would love to hear them. There's a lot of flexibility, so just like, I mean, the fact that I can execute arbitrary C# code kind of means I can do whatever the fuck I want. So if you think it can be theoretically accomplished with a computer, I can probably put it in. So be thinking, you know. Counter for, am I going to leak this? Yeah. I think that could work. Yeah. Where's the fucking ban button? Where do I fucking, what can I do to him? This might take some custom programming, but I can think of one thing that might be fun. What's up, Daniel? Let me know. I like the idea someone brought up of somehow cataloging moments from the stream for recaps through a command. That is something that I kind of already have, Apotheosis. I mean, it'll take some editing, but I have a command already where you can do exclamation point highlight. So you can do exclamation point highlight, and that will execute this command, which writes to a file on my computer with the time code. And it's on a cooldown so that, you know, people aren't like spamming time codes into this file. It's on like a 5-minute cooldown. I thought that was reasonable. But yeah. Now we just have to remember to use it. And I have on a timer, I have a reminder. I have a highlight reminder. If there's a standout moment from the stream, feel free to use exclamation point highlight. So I also have a reminder to use it programmed in. I'm thinking ahead. Instead of you having a set of timestamps, have the bot do some of that so that you don't even need to view the timestamps directly. Interesting. Like the bot harvest like a clip essentially from the live stream. Either using, the only problem with that is I did look into the Twitch API and I can programmatically create a clip, but it can only be 30 seconds. Which is, as we know for a lot of my tangents, probably not applicable. And YouTube's like clipping system, at least from what you can do mid-stream, is limited to 60 seconds. So it seems like it's going to have to be an after-the-fact something. You know, it's just no, I don't know. But yeah, now we just have to remember to use it. GCD is the cooldown, not the greatest common denominator. Yes. Yeah. GCD is global cooldown. UCD is user cooldown. So if I was, say, wanting to do like a thing where I'm like essentially like taking a poll, where I'm like, oh, you know, use one of these 3 commands to like submit your vote, essentially, I would put those commands on a user cooldown so that, you know, someone can only use it once within the time frame. So that they essentially can't vote twice. No. The timestamps for Critical Role. So your person would give you the timestamps, you'd copy and paste into the bot, and you'd go to the next timestamp sort of thing. Oh, I'm understanding what you're saying. So I would input the timestamps into a file, and then it would go to that position in the YouTube video. Yeah, interacting with the browser would be tricky. I have thought about downloading the videos and running them through VLC just for audio routing. The only problem with VLC is that I can't get the captions, and the captions are super nice. So I would basically have to like regenerate captions, but then they wouldn't be as good because the YouTube captions are manually edited and manually done. So that's the main reason that I watch Critical Role in browser in the first place. Is primarily because of the captions at this point. And I haven't found any sort of way to harvest the captions from a YouTube video. I haven't seen any way to do that. Something to take me off 1.5 though. Yeah. There's no sub action for that, is there? There's no YouTube sub action? No, there's not. Because it would be interesting if I could have a mod command. So, like, you know, just John or something, where they could send a command and it would automatically do it. It would be interacting with the browser. Man, if I was running it through VLC, it'd be so easy. It'd be dead easy if I was running it through VLC. But I love the captions. It's not even like I think the captions are, you know, like good for content. What's up? It's raining. I just took Bird out like a little bit ago. Did she ask again?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I just ran out. Really? Okay. Anyways, yeah, the only issue would be interacting with YouTube, and because I want the captions. Like a lot of times, like I'm like half reading the captions, half listening. Yeah. I'm somewhat hard of hearing. If you're gonna speed things up and you kind of have to, I need the cap. Yeah, I know. That's yeah. I agree, Daniel. I absolutely agree. Oh, look at that. There's the reminder. I think a lot of us appreciate the captions. Yeah, the captions have to stay, which makes VLC tricky. Unless there was an easy way that I am currently unaware of to get, you know, YouTube captions out. YouTube critical. If there's a super, you know, easy way to get the captions out, where's campaign 1? Because I have looked at there's like a transcript option now. So you can do show transcript, which I think is the captions, but there is not an easy way to harvest this. There is, like, you can toggle the timestamps. Or maybe there is, wait. Ooh, yeah, Control Alt. Wait, if I can... Wait. Oh, ah! Okay. So then, but the problem is I can't even, I'm looking at, you know, copying all of this out. I can't copy all of this out because I'm losing all of the timestamps. You know, even if I still have them there, I don't think, could I make this into a captions file? Oh, you can't even see what I'm looking at. Well, that's awkward. So YouTube has this transcript feature. So that's what I'm looking at. So if I just copy that and like put it into like Notepad, what does it look like? I don't know if there's a way to change this sort of thing into a captions file. Because if I could do that, if I could change this into like an SRT, then I could run both of them through VLC, but then I have to do this for every single episode. On top of, you know, downloading the episode and... Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know. Better get to coding. You can do button presses and clicks to interact with the browser, but that relies on things being in exactly the same position, at least to do it easily. Yeah, which I theoretically can do. I have an Elgato Stream Deck plugin called Window Mover. Oh, you can't see that. I have a plugin called Window Mover that can move things to specific windows. But yeah, it would basically, if I changed my setup at all, it would break all of that. Like if I changed like the amount of monitors or the placement, or there's maybe something there. There is potentially something there. I'll have to think more about it. You can copy all of them, but then you'd have to manually organize. I've been able to control copy the transcript from videos, but I've never done anything else. A quick Google search shows some people converting transcripts into subtitles. No idea if it's reasonable quality. Maybe I'll look at that later. Because that would be interesting. It would be interesting. Scaling back, could you make a mod-only command to remind you to slow down, speed up with something that pop-up highlight more visible to you than general chat? Yeah. that is the non-coder brain of like, hey, we don't need to do all this complicated bullshit. You can just like have a fucking you can just have a little notification that pops up. Yeah. I could indeed do that. Oh my gosh. AKL always being practical. Let me alright. Let's get that over there. And I'm gonna write that down because that's a good idea. Alright. Let's see. Streamer. Streamer.bot ideas. I'm gonna copy that out. Cause that would not be too hard. I just need to like think about it a little bit. And it would probably be very good. It would probably be very nice. Going back to how you have a bunch of people very willing to assist, just make it as easy as possible for them/us. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. But in this case, I 100%, I feel called out with that non-coder brain. I am indeed a coder at my day job. Look, so was I, dude. I mean, I was somewhere between a coder and a sysadmin. But so look, I get it. I know it. Coders are uniquely situated to solve all of the world's problems through code only. That is what coding boot camps and coding college teaches you. I mean, I absolutely see the appeal of elegantly automating it when you know it should be possible in theory, but also do we want a solution today or in some hypothetical future? Yeah. Well, and the more you make it a code, the more you automate all of it, the more rigid it becomes. It means that I can't, like, modify my monitor setup without having to re-automate everything, or without at least having to change some stuff in the code. But this is much more flexible. Yeah. So I think a mod-only command to remind you to slow down, speed up. Yeah. I think we got that. I think that is good. I do have some TTS done up, although it's very basic right now. I want to do a little bit more with it. But yeah, okay. Interesting. Well, I've already kind of gone through everything that I could really think of. So, this is an outward call to anyone watching the stream, anyone watching the VOD. Reach out in the Discord, and if you have any ideas. Mod only to TTS without paying money would be generic enough to use in almost any situation. True. I would need it to have a different alias. Ooh, maybe I could have it be a different alias so that only I could hear it. Ooh, wait. So, no events, no custom settings, voice alias. Yeah, wait. So I could have it be mod voice, and I could have it go through a output that is monitoring only, because on my wavelength I have a monitoring only channel, so I could go into aux2 So I can have the mod voice go into aux2. That won't get output to the stream, but I'll be able to hear it.
This is a test message.
Like, could you guys hear that? Could you guys hear this is a test message? Wait, I'll show you what it sounds like normally.
This is a test message.
So that's this is a test message, and then aux2. Oh wait, you guys could hear that?
This is a test message.
Oh. Wait, what? Wait, do I have that set up wrong? That should be on monitor only. Maybe it's Wait. Okay, now I need to test. It's really quiet, but I do barely. Wait. Let's see. Is it actually going through aux2 is the question.
This is a test message.
That's going through local AV. Why? Okay, wait 1 second. We're gonna do some on the fly testing. So we're gonna add an action for mods talking to Mega. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna add a sub action to speak. The voice alias is going to be mod voice. Test message chat. Don't listen. Okay. And then we'll add a test trigger. Test. Boop. And let's see what happens when we test it. Could you guys hear that? It didn't look like you could. Ooh, okay, let's go. Okay, so it was just the testing on here.
This is a test message.
For some reason, doesn't go through the output device that it's set to. That's fine. That's fine. So then I could have a command. Ooh. Can I harvest the payload? Wait 1 second. Mod message. Commands. Mod message. And we'll put it in mod commands. The location is at the start. Only moderators can use it. I can also have like sub only commands, which is kind of interesting. I can also filter on if it's a Twitch or a YouTube message, which is kind of interesting. Okay. So then if I say okay. It's kind of an annoying bug since it makes testing hard, but it's workable. Yeah, it's workable. Try applying duct tape. I will always try applying duct tape. Okay. So then I get rid of that one, delete that trigger, and apply the command. So if a command is triggered, which command? Mod message. And then I just have to remind myself, I kind of don't remember how to harvest the message. Like, I think that there's a way to, but I don't remember what it is. I think I did it in here. Is it just this? Is it literally just that? Okay, wait, let's see. So if I have mod talking to Mega, and then I have SpeakerBot, just has %message. And I think I'm technically a mod, so I should be able to do this to myself. So if the command is triggered, so let's see. Let's try triggering the command. So ! mod message, testing message. Did it do it? Started at just now. So it did it, but I didn't hear anything. Okay, let's check out the oh, really quick. Let me just make sure that there's nothing crazy in that variable list. I'm not gonna like flash my fucking IP or something. Okay, no. Thank God. Okay. I'm still probably gonna keep it off screen. But where is the message payload? Oh, it's like all there. So it's just raw input. It's just called raw input. Okay. So copy. So if I go back to actions, mod talking, instead of message, we do %raw input. And let's try it again. At mod message. Testing message. I still didn't hear it. There's input, URL encoded, input. Well, we shouldn't, so that's a good thing. Yeah, you shouldn't. So that is good. You know what? For this, we can. Oh, dude, I'm a fucking idiot. Is the reason that we can't fucking hear anything, or that I can't. I fucking closed out of the TTS bot. Oh my god, no fucking wonder, dude. Okay. Wait. Oh god. For a second I got freaked out thinking I fucking flashed my IP again, but I forgot it's just fucking like localhost. It's not anything crazy. Okay. Whew. Got scared again. Let's see. All right. I should also probably speaking of something that would be good to have on a command, I should get out of tabletop RPGs and go into coding. Or is it not? Is it programming? What's the programming? What's the Twitch category? That's computers? It's not computers. Is it coding? Is it coding? That just says Call of Duty. Code names. Coding for carrots. Like, what's the one that I'm assuming fucking Pirate Software streams in? If I just had to guess, you know? I'm just gonna go... I'm literally just gonna go to his channel and see what he's... Let's see. Stop it. Stop it. He streams in software and game development. Software and game development. Not anything that I was thinking. Software and game development. There we go. Done. All right. That would be something nice to have on a command. I forgot which video it was, but one VOD I watched recently had an awkward cut where I assume you flash something. Yeah, probably. Sometimes I flash things and I do not call it out, and then I go back and edit the VOD later. And honestly, it was probably something as innocuous as, like, my last name, which, like, I know will get unveiled at some point, but I figure I want to put as much friction between that as possible, you know? So, like, everything that I hide is mostly me just trying to put friction between people finding it versus not, because I know that if someone really wants to fuck with me, they can probably figure it out. But let's see. All right, let's try it one last time. Mod message. Okay, I heard it. Did y'all hear it? Because that'd be pretty sick. That'd be pretty sick. Utter silence. Let's go. Okay. Wait a second. And now I am realizing that I wonder if I could whisper that to myself. Like if I do like dash W or something. Is there a way to whisper in YouTube chat? Dash whisper. I kind of wish that I could remove the message as well, but I don't know if there's a way to do that. Actually, wait, let's fucking see. YouTube. Send message, set description. Yeah, not really. Once it's out, you can't bring it back. A streamer I used to watch is the sister of a small celeb. She expresses regret about that because we know her last name and her city because of that. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically how I feel. Like, I feel comfortable enough saying I live in Chicago because it's one of the 3 biggest metropolitan areas in the U.S. It's pretty fucking vague. But yeah, I'm not. And it's the same reason, like folks know that my first name is Jack, but also it's not. It's a name that I go by, but you're not going to find any legal documents with that on it, which is cool. But also, like, I don't discourage people from using Jack, but if I, like, see a chat message that says, like, Jack, comma, what do you think about the way that Matt did this? I just won't say the word Jack. But if they say Mega, comma, what do you think about this? I say Mega out loud. Cause like it is my name, or it's a name that I have. But like,
Warning.
Oh,
Warning.
warning. We're about to do an ad. But yeah, it's just like I said, and you know, you guys, I know that you guys understand of like. There's been so much with like people getting doxxed and, you know, people's real lives really getting fucked up by just like flashing something on stream. That I try to be careful about it. I actually just made a new fucking Opera profile that doesn't have like any of my normal shit on it, specifically to try and combat that and make sure that I don't accidentally flash something. And I did go through this before and make sure I wasn't gonna flash anything, but I got freaked out for a sec. I heard the ad warning. You should hear the ad warning. Thank goodness. So I think we're chilling, but we're gonna do an ad real quick, and then I'll be right back, and then I think we're probably gonna wrap up soon. So see you in a second.
This is a test message. This is a test message.
Dude, I love that track. The fucking dunk, dunk, dunk. Also, I did it. Oh, those are much louder. Sick. I was literally thinking to myself, because I realized why they were quiet. The router or the audio routing that I was using, I had like turned way down. Okay. I'm feeling good about that. And I think I'm not going to worry too much about trying to delete the message in chat. It'll just be an easy way for them to speak directly to me, you know. I think I'm feeling good. And that's mod only. Ignore bot account, ignore internal, persist, case sensitive, user cooldown. I mean, if my mod is abusing it, then that's something very easy to remedy. Arguably too loud. It probably does make sense to balance with the real life stuff. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Okay, I turned it down again.
This is a test message.
Was that abhorrently loud? I would rather it be slightly on the quiet side than slightly on the loud side, I will say. That sounds about perfect. That seemed good. Okay, sweet. So that'll just be the standard volume, and I need to actually turn it up a little bit on my side, but I can do that separately. There we go. Okay. Cool. That mod message is gonna be great. Of like, hey, slow down, whatever. Being able to talk directly to me. The only thing I will have to remind them is, hey, everyone can still see the thing that you say. So keep that in mind. Okay. Yeah, sweet. Okay. I'm feeling good about that. I'm feeling good. A lot of what I want to do is like link this up to like some, you know, fucking graphics to put up on stream and such, you know, play some stuff, play some, you know, like follower rewards and all that type of stuff, but I need to just get those graphics. Like I could very easily do it in terms of like setting it up in here. I just don't have any graphics or motion packs for that. So gonna be working on that. But I think otherwise, I think we're kind of chilling. Oh wait, is that only a YouTube message? Oh, that should be a Twitch message as well. Twitch. Chat. Okay. And then that's just on a certain timer. Okay. I think it's gonna be good. I could also, dude, this is just hilarious. I can voice control StreamerBot. So we could have like a stream of like, can I watch Critical Role without saying any of their names? And like anytime I say one of their names, it fucking it like it's like puts like a big fucking red X on the screen. Oh my god. I think it'd be so funny. So there's some silly shit like that. I can mess with this confidence threshold. There's some silly shit like that I have some ideas for. Let's say that. I've got some stream ideas. Big red X if you say BitD. Yeah, I get a list of banned words. I let you guys vote on the banned words and we add them into voice commands, and anytime I say a banned word, it's like brrr. Making a picture of them with a red kiss mark. Yeah, that works. Well, and you know the crazy thing about this? Is that the thing that I put into here can also be a variable. So I could have you guys at the beginning. I could like put up like a poll, or I could be like, you know, anytime, like, if you like, become a member, I can harvest your username when you become a member, store it in a variable, and then I can have this text be like the percent stuff. So I can have it be like, like recent sub 1 or something. And anytime I say that sub's name, I could have something happen on stream. I mean, there's some wild and wacky possibilities. Every sub gets to add one word to the banned list. And at the end of stream, we get to see who you love the most, yeah? Oh my god, yeah. So there's all sorts of wacky bullshit we can do with this that I am excited to explore. But with that, I think I might close it out there. I can imagine you getting frustrated because you can't pronounce a sub name like the way the streamer bot expects. Yeah, but that could be fun, right? Definitely bring up a big red nose whenever you compliment Matt on smell descriptions. Oh, yeah, totally. Exactly. Dude, we could do a fucking exclamation point smell and have a big fucking nose pop up on screen. There's all sorts of shit. I'm gonna be doing my own thinking, but if y'all think of anything, we got that one knocked the fuck out. My inbox is open. The stream is gonna get very visually busy while you experiment. I'm gonna try not to make it overwhelming, but potentially. But anyways, I appreciate you guys hanging out listening through my lunacy. I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna go get some food, and I will see you all tomorrow at 11:30. I think the actual game is going to start closer to like noon 30, which for folks in different time zones, an hour, half an hour to an hour after my normal start time. So my normal start time is 11:30. So hour to half an hour will be when the actual game starts. But I'll get on, chat with chat for a little bit. Because I will say, during the actual game, I'm probably not going to be super chat-oriented, if that tracks. But, like I said, appreciate you guys hanging out. And I will see you all later. Goodbye.